Watch this before summoning for Orange Piccolo or Tag Gamma 1 and 2. Now, as we enter part 2 of the 5th anniversary, I'm sure everyone is super excited with how that celebration has been going so far. And of course, for part 2 with all the new characters, specifically Orange Piccolo, Gohan, Tag Gamma 1 and 2, and Magenta with Styzmask, of course, right? So, I like to always do these videos before summoning before the summons go live for these big banners. Now, we don't have the information on the banners, about the banners, but we do have some things to talk about here. So obviously, we know that they're going to be 2 separate banners. We haven't had a dual LF banner since, I believe, Legends Festival 2021, straight up. 2021, yeah, straight up. So it is, it's pretty cool to see. Again, so each banner has one Sparking and an LF. It's going to be Orange Piccolo and Gohan on one banner, and then the other one's going to be Magenta and Tag Gamma 1. Now, we don't have the kits for Tag Gamma 1 and 2. Magenta and Gohan, like they're full kits, but we do have the reveals and stuff kit that they showed. And straight off the bat, like obviously the 2 LFs are looking to be really, really good, right? Tag Gamma 1 and 2 are looking phenomenal. Orange Piccolo being a revived character and all that stuff looking pretty good. So we're not going to be going over the kits too much because obviously we know that the characters are going to be good, especially the LFs. So we're just going to be talking about whether you should summon on it depending on what type of teams you main. Obviously, before we even enter and talk about why you should summon, if you should summon or not, if these are characters that you love, that you've been anticipating, you've been waiting for so long, I know Orange Piccolo and especially that Tag Gamma 1 and 2 are 2 units that have been highly anticipated ever since the movie has dropped. And of course, this is the first time we're seeing any form of Styzmask in the game through Magenta and his, death buffs or death damage or whatever you want to call it, similar to how we had Tapion for the 4th anniversary. So these are highly anticipated units from the latest piece of Dragon Ball media. So I'm sure a lot of people are very excited for this. But for anyone that's like on the fence on whether they should summon or not, maybe they might not main the team right off the bat. I could tell you that if you don't really main movies or anything like that, movies, androids, region, we're going to talk about that. There really isn't any point in summoning because we have to also keep in mind that part 3 is going to be coming, and part 3 usually involves an ultra unit, and the ultra unit ends up being the best unit in the game for the most part, right? Now, what's interesting also is that they've been going pretty differently on a different route for these 2 parts, right? For the first part, we had 1 banner with 4 new units, and then this one we're getting double LF banners, right? So this is completely different from what we've seen in Legends Festival as well as the 4th anniversary. So it's not crazy to say that they might even do something completely different for part 3 as well. We can potentially see, I'm not saying we're 100% guaranteed, but we could potentially see an Ultra LF unit or even a double Ultra banner, right? So keep that in mind as you summon for this because we all know that Ultra units run the game, especially the top meta. All these Ultra units are running rampant. I mean, to be fair, Goku and Frieza are pretty good as well. So just keep that in mind, right? So Piccolo, Gamma 1 and 2, and the 2 other units, yeah, Gohan and Magenta. So right off the bat, this is a heavy movie buff for all you movies main, right? All of them are buffing movies, except I believe Magenta is not buffing movies, or maybe he is. I could be wrong. I think he does buff movies, but his support is not linked to any movie characters, which is pretty weird. And he's also green, so if you're summoning for Orange Piccolo, who's also green, then you might not want Magenta. So that's kind of an interesting color they decide to go with. But if you're a movie main, this is a no-brainer. You would probably want to summon for Orange Piccolo the most, because for yellow, Gamma 1 and 2 are going to be yellow with no reverse element. Actually, yellow is pretty down bad as well. I mean, this Gogeta is going to probably get a Zenkai. I mean, I don't even want to say soon because we never know when he's going to get a Zenkai. But if he does get a Zenkai, he's probably going to be your main option if you don't have Gamma 1 and 2. But other than that, you're basically going to run Beast Gohan, Red Pan, or the new Gohan, as well as the Orange Piccolo. And then we have, of course, Gogeta Blue that can still be used on the leader slot, right? Something's interesting as well is that the Gohan is red and Pan is red as well. So I don't know, the Gohan doesn't look too crazy, so even if you pull him, Pan might still be a better option. We'll have to wait and see for more showcases, but Pan might be still a better option, but we'll have to see. But the main units are going to be mainly Gogeta Blue, Beast Gohan, and the Orange Piccolo, right? Having a revival there, and then Beast Gohan with the endurance, and then Gogeta Blue with the endurance nullification. It's a lot of Rising Rush control there, and overall very well cohesive team there. So that's going to be pretty damn solid. But then another really good team, if you want to summon for Orange Piccolo, is Regen. Now, Regen, I feel like is kind of undercover right now, but with this Orange Piccolo, I think they're going to make a big splash in the meta, right? We always have Kid Buu, who many people consider the best unit in the game currently. So that's obviously the unit you want to build around. Then you have Orange Piccolo with a revive. Kid Buu already has endurance. You have Zamasu that has endurance. You have this Red Cell who's very, very underrated, and he's very, very good. You have like the makings of a very, very good team here. And then you can just throw on even Zenkai buff with the Fat Buu on the bench, and you're already looking very good. So Regen is looking like it's going to be a good team to look out in the meta once this banner does drop. And I know for all you Regen mains, you've been definitely waiting for Orange Piccolo for a long time, so this is a no-brainer for you guys to summon on. So Regen, look out for Regen. It's going to be, I would say it's going to be pretty prominent in the upcoming PvP seasons. Then we come over to Android. We've already covered, actually, before we even go on to that, we can talk about another tag that's going to be buffed, and it's hybrids. The thing here is hybrid mains aren't really getting a big buff with this banner because they're getting a red unit, and they already have Pan. Now, you could argue that the Gohan might be better. We'll have to wait and see. But if you are strictly a hybrids main, there's really no reason to summon other than the fact that you want a new hybrid unit. Now, it's important to note that Beast Gohan and Pan are going to be on these banners. So if you want more dupes of those guys, because this is the first time that they're returning on a banner. So if you want dupes of them, this is also the perfect time to summon on them, right? They're also going to be at double Z power. So that's going to be really good. And if you don't even have Beast Gohan, then you could just summon on the banner, hold a copy, and you can do the event and get an extra copy. So that's also very, very good there. So not much value for hybrids main, but if you don't have the main units like Beast Gohan, Pan, then this is definitely going to be a must summon for you guys, right? So that's just a quick summary of what hybrids main can be looking out for. So now we have androids, which is the I guess last team that's going to be buffed. Also powerful opponent, but you know, I guess we don't really need to talk about powerful opponents since I don't think Magenta is going to be making a big enough impact because he's green and he's nowhere close to Goku Black. So he's not really going to be replacing Goku Black on powerful opponent. Unless you want to go green, green, yellow with Kid Buu and Goku Black. But I think you'd rather want to run Hit instead. But, you know, it's definitely your preference. But Android, I feel like Android is definitely a team that's overlooked and is kind of underrated because you have some pretty solid pieces here. This free-to-play 21 is very, very good. I feel like people don't use her enough. I guess it makes sense because people just like to run ultras. 17, phenomenal unit, top 5 unit. You can even RU. Tag droids, they're still usable, but they're definitely not hanging with the top tiers of the meta. So I mean, they're still usable, but you know, it is what it is. You have Cell here as well, but Cell is mainly strike oriented, whereas the other two are more blast oriented. So there's that. But then we have the Gammas. Now I don't remember if the Gammas were I have their kit pulled out. Are Gammas melee type? If they're melee type, then they would go well with the new Cell. Does it not say if they're melee type or not? I guess it just doesn't. What are they buffing? They're buffing blast attack and defense, so I'm assuming they're range type. It would be very weird if they were a melee type and they buff range. Let me just control F ranged. Do we see? I mean, I guess it doesn't say anything, right? So I'm assuming they're range type since they buff blast. But yeah, if they buff blast, that's gonna be a very good pairing for this Android 17 and this free-to-play 21. You can even have this 17 is getting a Zenkai as well. That's something to look out for. I don't expect it to be good, but it's just something to throw out there. This purple 17 can still put in some numbers. And then we have the other Gammas. I mean, they're nothing crazy, but you know, they're still there. And of course, we have the strike-oriented second form style, which you're probably not gonna use, but you know, it is what it is. But being a tag unit, this is the first time a tag unit does not have a reversed element or 2 colors. It's just gonna straight up stay yellow the whole time when you're switching out. And they have a but they have a standby mechanic similar to the Boo Bros. Now obviously, you know, many people have PTSD from the Boo Bros standby mechanic being not too crazy, but I do think this one seems to be a bit better. But obviously we have to wait and see for some gameplay first before we can actually judge them, right? But Android's main definitely want to summon for these guys because two Android units that are probably going to be meta relevant. So this is definitely a must summon for Android mains. So you definitely want to summon on the Gamma 1 banner and not the Orange Piccolo banner, right? So movie mains, you want to focus more on Orange Piccolo. Regen mains, focus more on Orange Piccolo. Hybrids main, I mean, you could summon on either one of them. I don't know if Beast Gohan is going to be on either one of them. We also don't know what the featured LFs are. So I'm going to be obviously updating my pinned comment whenever we do get information on the featured LFs, because that is also a big part of why you want to summon on these banners so you can get other units as well. So I'll definitely update the pin count once we get information on that. And then, of course, Android mains you want to summon on the Gamma 1 and 2 banner there. And everyone else, obviously, you could decide to throw in a couple multis, test your luck, do a rotation if you want. But if you're not really maining any of these teams, then I would highly suggest you save for part 3 and then just go all out for part 3, because that unit is going to be the best unit in the game, and he's going to invalidate the entire game, and his name is Vegito Blue. But obviously, we don't have confirmation on that. So that's pretty much it for the breakdown on whether you should summon or not. Definitely let me know if you guys are going to be summoning. If you are, how many CCs are you going to go? Are you going to save up? Are you going to go deep? Let me know which banners you're going to also summon for. And it's going to be pretty exciting because I'm also going to be summoning them. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe because it's so important. So don't forget. Have a great day. See ya.